I'm Kelly Parks of Calm Waters Cloud Accounting. I use Financial Sense to run my bookkeeping business. And today I wanted to talk to you about how I manage my CRM information with my clients in Financial Sense. So when I'm working in a client file, or if a client has questions, or anybody I'm collaborating with needs to know some information, or Marissa, who does a lot of the work for me, when we are working in a client file or need client information, we've got it right at our fingertips. Financial Sense is really robust for this, and I love some of the features around it. One of the things that I want to start with is the dashboard, which gives you an overall view of what's going on, whether it's upcoming work, recent documents. You can list recent activities, client notes, what client tasks need to be done, and you can open those up. Actually, I'm going to open those up now because those are not something that are in the top here. So you can take a look through what tasks are still outstanding for the client. And then what I really love is some of the things that are on the right-hand side here. So related contacts are a great one, especially if you have people that are doing other work within the file, that maybe they've got somebody in-house doing payroll, or they've got admin. There's related parties in here, whatever it is that you need, kind of other contact information around this file. And then I love this. This is the custom fields. So in the custom fields, you can create the fields of the information that you want to know. And the way that I use this is, if you need information across all of your clients, so you're going to need to know the entity type. You're going to need to know the HST, that's a VAT tax, sales tax up here. You're going to need to know the business number, their fiscal year end. All of the things that you need for day to day to work in a file that are consistent information you need across every single client, that's what I create custom fields for. And you can add them, you can edit them, you can delete them, whatever you want to do. One of the things to keep in mind with the custom fields is that you can import a CSV file with all of the custom fields populated. So if you bring in a client, or you're going to bring in a number of clients, you don't have to go into them and add all of this information. If you create a proper CSV file, and that file can actually be created originally from a form that a prospect or a client fills out, put them in the right order so they land into the CSV file, and you can import that CS file with the custom fields already in it. That's super cool. You can have relationships. So lawyer, I'm a bookkeeper. I don't do taxes. So I always need to know about who is doing the taxes for my clients, for example. Related entities may be something that you want to have in here. But I do find that other professional services are really useful to have in the relationships. And client groups. So that is, for example, you could use it to group different kinds of work together. Or my clients generally have multiple entities. So I say I have one client, but there's actually 4 businesses involved with that one client. I create client groups around that so that I have visibility on the related companies as well. And then who's assigned to the file. This is a test file, so I'm not going to assign Marissa here. Otherwise, she's going to get a ping and she's going to go, "That's Kelly's busy doing silly things in the demo file again." But you can put who it is that you're going to assign to the file. So I love everything on this right-hand side. Super cool. Activity. So what's going on in the file? How is the client feeling? So that would be in here when you make contact with the client. And what's happening with some time tracking? What is the billing that's going on with that client? And when you last contacted them. So these are fairly important things, and you can toggle these through to various dates as you move through them. And then you can see the activity level that went on, and you can filter it by activity type and by who was actually either contacting the client or doing some work with them or whatever the case may be. Notes. So what's the difference between notes and custom fields? I mentioned it. Custom fields I like for when I need that information across every single client. Notes I love for things that may be important to that client. So maybe some more details about corporate structure, maybe some details around their the fintech that you're using with them, the different applications. Maybe you want notes around year-end filing when you're going to hand it off to the accountant. What's some of the information you want to make sure that you impart to that client? Notes has all kinds of fantastic use case scenarios. And what I love is there's a brand new feature that you can actually tag somebody in the notes that makes it even more visible to the person who may be working in there for them to make sure that they are referencing that note. Documents. So where are you going to store some important files? You upload them. You can search by document name. Same back here in notes. You can search through your notes. So make sure that you search rather than scroll through once you start to get lots of notes in there. You want to put in here, I'm going to put in my all important negative COVID test. So in that goes. So you can see how easy it is to upload a document in here, and then you can go ahead and change the name of it as well. One of my other super favorite features as a CRM is the client vault. The use case scenario for me on this one with one particular client has been awesome. We do their accounts payable for them. And not all of their documents, not all of their files can be fetched. I use Dex for this client, but it can't fetch everything because it's got some of these really weird one-off type vendors. So I have all of their vendor logins, and I can go in and just grab all of their stuff on a monthly basis, and they are all right in here. And what's really cool is you just show the information, and you will have a link to launch the vendor, in this case, that I'm going to. You have all of the information to get into that file. I love these encrypted records. And one of the other things that you have in there, let's just edit a record for a minute, is the encrypted values. So those would be, let's say, the security questions or the details you need to get through. The other use case scenario that I use this for in my own business, so for my own CRM for Calm Waters bookkeeping, is I have my two-factor verification backup codes in here so that we can, if something happens to my backup authenticator, I still have codes to get into all of my various applications that have the two-factor verification on them. So I super love that. And then finally, I showed this just briefly, is that you can go in and take a look at what your client has or hasn't done. So I hope this was a helpful video on how I am using the CRM features in Financial Sense. And you can move forward with using some of these features too for you and your team to have all of the client information at your fingertips at all times. Thanks and have a great day.